My son received death threats from this man.
It's not true. No, you didn't. You didn't.
The guy's class where he's teaching.
Yes, I did.
And cause a disruption.
I did cause it. Yeah, I would call it that.
So this March I performed a show at SMU, and this UT Arlington professor of logic posted a call to action demanding people call the school and get it canceled due to me being a, quote, alt-right neo-Nazi. As evidence of my Nazi views, he posted completely fabricated tweets. I immediately had my half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond, officially request a retraction of the libel.
The legal definition of what I sent was a love note, requesting a retraction and a correction.
A review. You reviewed it, and your conclusion was that statements attributing genocide to someone fake.
There's literally,
We're okay.
But he didn't. This professor of logic just went on continuing with the false claims, non-stop, publicly, to his students, including that I sent neo-Nazis to his house and that I personally made death threats against him and his family myself. Only when I called the campus police to verify the veracity of the claims.
Hey, Detective Lee, this is Steven Crowder.
As far as I can see, there's no offense. There's, nothing of that nature.
Okay. So considering this teacher of logic was teaching slander and libel to his students to prevent anyone here from making a living, we alerted the UT Arlington dean.
Refer you, Mr. Crowder, to either our university attorney.
Not only did the school do nothing, they went out of their way to support Professor. Now, keep in mind, this professor has also publicly protested and harassed conservative students. I'm fortunate enough to have a platform, but it's scary to think that if this man does this publicly, how is he treating his own conservative students behind closed doors? Now, I'm not a guy who wants to destroy a man's life, suing him for verifiable, repeated attempts at libel. But at this point, what choice did I have?
Hi, Professor. I just wanted to clarify something here for the record, because I know you've been working at this school for a while and actually posting online that I'm a neo-Nazi, some false libelous claims. I'd like to know if you could correct the record.
I would like to say that when you went to your show and you told some... What happened last year? Was during spring break of last year.
You're hijacking my education.
Within,
Yeah, I understand, but
within spring break of last year, this man posted online attacks on me.
posted that I said,
When he posted these
put
attacks
all
on
the,
me,
put
when
all
he
the in the oven.
he
I would never
posted
say
these-
this.
when
This
he
is
posted
libel.
these
This is
attacks
false.
on me, what ended up happening?
What
was his
attacks on you?
followers
What
went
attacks on you?
online. His followers went online.
What attacks did I post
and
on
they
you?
started putting death threats to my son.
Yes. You
When
said
my
I
son
threatened your
was
son.
receiving- When my son was receiving death
By the way,
threats.
for the record, I would never ever threaten violence. I don't believe in violence. Unlike some of the calls you made online, I would never threaten anybody with violence. I just want to make sure that me and my staff are able
My
to
son
continue to
received
make
death
a
threats
living.
from this man.
I sent death threats to your son?
To get me fired. This man's lawyer has put
When did I
threats
call
to me.
death threats to your son?
This man has put laws to...
Truth matters. Truth matters. And I never threatened your son.
Now,
But I'm
what,
not-
I,
I'm not
what I really hope is that in the future, what you will do is stop putting death threats against me and my friends. You've
Which
also-
death threats? Where?
You've also put threats
What death
against-
threats? When did I ever threaten you, your students, anyone here? Your son? When? What proof do you have? That's a big claim.
How about your Facebook post? where
Right
you
now
put
I threatened you with
schedule?
death?
You put the schedule of...
When did I threaten anybody with violence? Because I actually advocate against it. Right now, please, no violence. But I think it's wrong to lie. So do you admit that that's not
When
true?
I admit- when I
Do you admit
admit-
that I never said those things?
No, that's what you said.
I said this.
Contradict yourself.
This is your. This is
you're
the
just
guy
contradicting
teaching you
yourself.
logic and how to deal with truth.
just contradicting
This is
yourself.
important. Here's the thing. He's been invited.
Don't debate.
He's been invited.
Just
That's
story
okay.
straight.
He's been
Just story
invited
straight.
for an open forum debate repeatedly and has declined it. He has falsely libeled and slandered not only me but members of my team repeatedly, and he has told you, his students, something that is not true. But you said I made it first.
No, you said that.
You said that I said those things.
You claimed that these quotes came from the Daily Stormer initially.
You're a professor
Now
of
you
logic?
claim they came from me.
You posted this on your Facebook page saying Steven Crowder posted this.
Did these come from the Daily
Did
Stormer?
I ever say these things?
Don't touch that guy.
Did I ever say these things? I've never issued a threat. But you have. Well, you know why? You know why? Because it's how I make a living. And truth matters. You're in a class where you're supposed to learn about truth. But what if I were to just spread a rumor that, for example, he were having a relationship with you, or you, I have no idea, to get you fired? Would that be okay as long as I didn't like you?
It is something your followers have done. It is something your followers have done.
I've never done that. So when did I threaten
I'll see
anybody?
you guys next class.
When did I threaten anybody? When have I ever issued a threat of violence to anyone?
And I mean,
You said that I issued a death threat to your son. Family, it's
I
not
said
true.
your followers have said that.
No, you didn't. You didn't. We have the screenshots. You said I did it myself. That's
I didn't
a lie.
say those threats. I said
That's
the
a
threats
lie.
against my
What
son.
threats from me, period? Any threats from me? When have I ever said anything to be called a neo-Nazi? Ever? Give me one justification. Nice try to trip, little coward. When have I ever said anything in support of neo-Nazi ideology?
These people have disrupted my classroom. I'm kind of curious what the university can do about it.
That's correct, we did. But the school has done nothing.
Well, I can...
Could we show you, if you could take one moment to look at this, I think if you saw how horrifying it is. He said I threatened to kill his family and his son. Right here it says, I've had enough of you little gay cartoon boys. You degenerate fucks are going in the oven with the kites. And he said that I said these things. And you have someone who's in charge of teaching truth and critical thinking to your students, who is lying. Look,
To say what he
to say
wants
that I
to say.
threatened his son's life?
Well...
That's not free speech, that's libel.
Well...
Come on the show and we'll talk about
Please,
it.
please.
Or at a neutral meeting place.
Now. I already did.
A neutral meeting place. We can discuss it at a neutral meeting place.
I'm not discussing with people who have made threats against my son, whose followers made threats against my son.
All right. I need you out of my...
I've never threatened your son. I never knew you had a son. I thought you were gay. It's like I'm in bizarro land of lies. Hello, officers. How are you? Clarify.
Oh, I know who you are.
Oh, okay.
Loud of the crowd.
Oh, well, thank you.
In the guy's class where he's teaching.
Yes, I did.
And cause a disruption.
I did cause it. Yeah, I would call it that. To answer questions, just
I've
tell us.
I've seen you before. You've been cooperative. I've seen you change my mind and some of the locations.
Sure as night follows day, after we filmed this video, we sat back and waited for Charles Hermes to do what he does. Lie. Again, I'm fortunate to have a platform, but keep this in mind. If I don't have this show, if I'm someone like you, and this person makes these claims, and people believe it, you don't have a job. You never work again. Your reputation is ruined forever. But keep in mind, as always on this channel, civil discourse is always the first choice. But if you make threats, calls to violence, or repeatedly abuse your power to lie to your pupils and refuse to admit the truth, I will find you, I will expose you, and I will shame you.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you shoot fun on Hitler. Yeah, I don't like Hitler. Hitler.
He's #1 man in the world.
Wow. Muslim? Please tell me you got that.